Good morning, everyone. We're all working. Everybody, hey, I'm drinking coffee too. Life is good. Here's to caffeination. Good morning, Sarge. We don't have music. I hit the background music thing and then it said, nah. Just did it again and it said, nah. Oh, we just can't have that music. That's what it boils down to. Good morning, Brent. Can we have some other music like this one? Yeah. That's weird. All right. Well, we've got music. We got tunes. All right. I'm real quickly working on this one. This is a piece that comes from my D&D game. My tiefling took the halfling and put her on the back of the broom. Oh, kick butt. I actually was. So, do you have Spotify, Sarge? If you do, will you look up Star Trek 3? I can't find the soundtrack to Star Trek 3. It's really weird. Like, I can find all of the movies except for Star Trek 3. You don't have Spotify. Well, it doesn't matter. But it's weird. Like, this morning, I was like, because okay, are you familiar with the Star Trek 3 soundtrack? Because if you are, the last track on there is this kind of interesting, like, jam that James Horner did with all of, like, his little band or whatever. I think he had like a garage band of some sort, right? So he had this little, like, garage band going for him. Oh no, I'm cutting in and out. I don't want to cut in and out. I feel like my internet cable thingy is dying. I don't have to replace that. You found it on Spotify? Did you find a song, or did you find the whole album? Because I'm looking for the last track. It's there's like his band or something. It's weird. Why couldn't I find it on? Let me do this. Spotify. Spotify. Right? Good morning. Yeah. Whatever. You're all funny. Search. Star Trek 3. Search for Spock. We got the main title. Oh, I have the CD. I'm trying to. I've got the CD. That's not a problem. I just can't find the actual album. Okay, here's what's going on. I have my perfect Star Trek playlist, right? It has pretty much all of the main titles from everything. And then on like when the titles change, like for Picard, I have the opening theme for Picard. And then a couple of other great ones from Picard Season 3, because the Season 3 soundtrack to Picard, Legacies, is a beautiful, beautiful piece. I also like Leaving Space Dock. That one's a beautiful piece. So, things like that. But then Star Trek 1, I've got the main titles and the Klingon battle, because that's a great piece. You know what I mean? Like, I've just been trying to pick, like, my favorite pieces. Like Ron Jones in the TNG soundtrack has some phenomenal pieces in the Borg section. So when you're in Borg and stuff like that, but I can't find 3. It's so weird. I can't find all the. That's just a weird thing to not have. You know what I mean? Can I get audiobooks? How do I get audiobooks? You can have audiobooks? Oh, you can buy audiobooks. Okay, that's fair. Nothing wrong with that. I don't mind it. I just didn't know I could do that. Right? Me too. And I'll take either the Picard Season 3 version or Star Trek 1, 2, because both of them have a leaving space dock sequence. I'll take either one of them. I'm fine with both. They're both good. So yeah, I've just been like it's been strange. It's like there's no Star Trek 3. I've got Star Trek 1, I've got Star Trek 2, Picard Season 3, but I don't have any of the other ones. It's so strange. I've got the main title. Anyway, also Stealing the Enterprise is a great piece from the Star Trek 3 soundtrack. Hey, some user. Oh, yeah, thank you. I got that one. It's good to see you, some user. It's been a while. It's okay, actually, because the last 2 weeks, I believe, I was in Portland, Oregon with my family, just doing the normal summer vacation family thing. And then when I came back, I immediately had a week's worth of school to teach. So it was kind of busy last week. So there were no day shows, only the night shows. So you actually didn't miss anything. And it's probably not YouTube not giving you notifications. I'll bet you it just was that we didn't have any day shows last week. Because I was in a classroom teaching. It's my other day job. Thank you, Brent. I appreciate that, man. It's just weird. It's conspicuous that Star Trek 3 is missing. But I will add, this is different, though. This is Stealing the Enterprise. I'll add it. It's just weird. That's a strange thing to be missing. There's a longer version of Leaving Dry Dock. So now you just have a whole bunch of apples. Tanaka likes apples. However, Okasan or Oksan? Because Okasan would be a hold, and that's mom. However, the mom doesn't like apples. So the girl ate it. It's supposed to be his mom. You're fine. The only thing is the oo sound that you will see. So when you do oo, and that's when you have, like, for example, here you have, I'll zoom in. I'm over here. So when you're doing like okasan, is there a ka? Or is it just a ka? Okasan. You know what? So you get this hold here, and they'll put an u there to indicate that this holds to ah. So, you know, ah, and then ah. It just keeps going. Usually when we translate that into Romaji, we'll say oh, ka. We'll hold that a. Not always. It depends on who you are and where you are and when you are. Yeah, it goes. So there's two types of Romaji that you're going to run into. There's what we call the Hepburn Romaji, and then there's standard Romaji. And the Hepburn is like so weird. It's like reading British English versus English, or American English. Like everything is slightly different, and it's so weird. Oh, so he hit his mom. Is that what you were headed for? Was like, so he ate his mom? So, that would be Tanaka-san wa ringo ga suki dakedo, kare no, you can just say okasan, okasan, okasan. So you can say Tanaka-san wa ringo ga suki dakedo, okasan wa okasan mo. If you say mo, it gives a sort of like an invert to it. Okasan mo ringo ga suki janai. And then I put suki janai period. Okasan wo tabeta dakara. And dakara at the end there would be like, so therefore, right? Because of that. What would I do? Kara. Maybe kara. Yeah, that's why you're saying kara right there. Suki janai kara. But you want to put the because of at the end of the sentence. Just want to be able to control the nonsense. Tanaka-san wa ringo o interested in that. See? Sarge, you see what I'm saying? Star Trek 3 isn't there. Isn't that weird? It's so strange. I don't know what to do with that, Sarge. It messes with my entire universe. I mean, like, you can't take away these albums. That's not fair. Well, I mean, I have it as MP3s. I'm not worried about that. I just don't have it on Spotify, which is bizarre. And if you really need it on MP3, I will happily give you a copy, because I don't believe that. I believe firmly that all of us Trekkies have put in so much money into CBS Paramount. Oh, I see what you're saying. So you and me in a Discord every so often, we could probably do that. Like, I don't know what the subscription is. You'll pick it up faster than me because you already have two languages. Japanese is my second language. This is called Group 87. Was the name of the group? Oh, I don't know. I'm doing a couple of things at the same time. When it comes to money, I always get so like nervous because I'm always like, I don't want to charge too much because then people get all worried and then they don't want to do it. And then I don't want to charge too little because I want to value my time. So I always like to default to the too little. I don't know. How desperate are you to start this? Are you desperate to start right now? And while we're at it, how how good do you want your Japanese to be? Because though I totally can speak Japanese just fine. Okay, cool. Yeah, well, we can always find time. Because I mean, I'm looking in here, and I've got the theme is right here. This is what I'm looking for. This is the piece that I'm looking for to add to my Spotify collection. The problem is you can't add songs that are on your PC to Spotify. But here's my Star Trek 3 disc 2, and it's the last track on disc 2. Well, how about this? For right now, if you have questions, I can help you at this moment while drawing, because that's talking, and talking doesn't bother me. And then later, when we get a little bit more serious about some of this stuff, I can help you with some of those other things too. So you can just keep asking questions here for right now, for the moment, because I've got to draw this anyway. So. Oh, I had an idea for a holiday. I have to think it out real quick. Oh, yeah, within the month? Absolutely. Let's figure that out. An advancement. We should be able to think this out pretty easily. Aw, thank you. See you in a bit, Sarge. Okay. I'm cooking my brain right now, trying to figure this one out. Let's figure this out, though. Okay, so I was thinking about, wouldn't it be fun to have sort of a star system holiday called like Advancement or New Ground or something, where you have a star who's got the planet going around it like this, but since the star is moving through the galaxy like this, there is a point where the planet is retreating and then there's a point where the planet's advancing. When it's advancing, you're in new territory, right? This is new space. You've never been here before. And I was thinking, wouldn't that be kind of cool? You'd have to make it sort of a part of. So, like, for example, let's talk about this here. If you've got the planet, here's the star, right? Here's our star. In the galaxy, the star is going to be moving this way through the galaxy, right? So the planet that's going around it, the moment that this planet crosses a certain zone, and maybe it's, stars don't move that fast. Maybe it's only this much of the zone, but every time the star moves forward to right here, it's moved the outer orbit of the planet to right here. So now the outer orbit of the planet is in space that's never been explored before, technically speaking, right? And then when the star moves to here, then the planet's going to be orbiting like that, right? It's still orbiting all the way around. It's just that this part is all in already traversed space. So I was thinking, wouldn't it be funny if, or cool, not funny necessarily, but cool, wouldn't it be cool if somebody had a holiday which sort of marks the moment that the planet enters into unexplored space? Technically, even though it's just a technicality. But I mean, like, most of our holidays are based around, sort of technicalities. It's not like a new year actually literally starts a new, like, era in the world or anything like that. We just established that this is the point where we are at the same point as we were before, right? So this is New Year's. This is New Year's. This is New, what I mean? So what if there was an advancement day or a new ground day, and technically speaking, your planet is celebrating the fact that you have entered into like unexplored space? It doesn't change a whole lot. It's still just unexplored space, but wouldn't that be neat? So now my thought is, I'm going to try to figure out where unexplored space is for us. Right? So I can find some very valuable pieces of information. Let's go find out how fast that is, right? So I'm going to actually pull up this tab right here. So the sun orbits the galactic center at, don't do that, at 828,000 kilometers an hour. So we can actually push that all the way up and figure out how many AU it's moving. Our solar system is pretty, whatever. So 828 times 54. So that's actually quite significant. 19 million kilometers every day. That's our moving point. Right? Now we're at 725 328,000. So 7 billion kilometers every year. Okay, cool. We got that much down. We figured that out. Oh, man. hang on real quick, equals 4,959,787.0. Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Or like, what math are we doing here? Like, what are you doing? Watch and see. 149597870. 149597870. Okay, double checked. It's actually 871. Round up. All right. That makes interesting difference here. Four, 9,597,597,870,871 times 2 equals. So what we have is an orbit of Earth. One orbit of Earth is 299,195,742. Right? Yeah. In kilometers. What that means to me is it doesn't matter. As soon as you pass the 0 point behind the trailing edge of the sun, you're advancing into new territory. Right? Because it's 7 billion kilometers now a year. Right? And it's 7 billion kilometers. 2 AUs, which is the width or the diameter of the Earth. Here, let me try it out. Right? We've got the sun and we've got the Earth, yeah? So, the Earth orbits around the sun, not in that direction. I don't know why I thought that it orbited in that direction, but it does, and it doesn't orbit. It doesn't really matter. The sun is going to be moving this way, right? So it's going to be traveling this way. Every year, this sun, our sun, moves this much in 1 year. So 7 billion kilometers, right? In a year. Yeah, the stream is a bit laggy. I'm thinking I'm having problems with my transmitter. I think that my broadcasting antenna may be wiggy. We'll have to see. I'm going to switch to Applewood 2. There we go. Tell me if that's better. Tell me if that runs better. I'm on my 5G instead of my 2.4. So, okay, moving right along. Where were we on this map? Every year, our sun will move through the galaxy. Cool. 7 billion kilometers, right? An AU it's called an astronomical unit. That's the distance between the Earth and the sun. This is called an AU. 93 million miles, or the equivalent in kilometers, which I cannot remember off the top of my head because it's very, very close to the amount of speed of light, and that messes with my brain. So, the distance here is, well, actually, I don't know why I said that. It's 149 million kilometers. I don't know why I said that. I don't know what it is in metric, even though I wrote it right here. Okay, so 1 AU is right there. 2 times that, because you want to talk about this and this. Well, then That's something we can rectify the next time we talk, Sarge. Um, this and this is 2 times AU, right? Which is this 299 million kilometers. So we move in an orbit of 299 million kilometers. If you look at this from the trailing end, so here's planet Earth, right? At the trailing end, it doesn't matter because the point in space, right? Japanese metric measurements. The point in space that the sun has moved by the time we get to the back end of the star, which for some reason is always retrograde in my brain. Don't do that, guy. We move in a prograde orbit, right? So what I'm trying to figure out is, when do we hit trailing and when do we hit leading, right? Trailing is here. Leading is here. It's like Janeway. Temporal mechanics makes my head hurt. All right. So, Guy, how do you do this? I'll tell you. We know that Sagittarius is the center of the galaxy. Right? Makes it easy. Going this way is like Taurus, I think, is the other way in the galaxy. So we look at the galactic, more coffee is how we do this. So we look at the galactic pivot on this, and we look to see where we are in each part of the year. And that should be relatively easy to find. This would be the opposite. What constellation is the sun in? You're not going to believe this, but it's right about now. Okay? So, let's do this. So November 13th looks like you need to move your chair closer to the desk. Come on. I'm working this one pretty good. So here's the way we're looking at this. Sagittarius A prime is the black hole at the center of our galaxy. That's the name of it. And we just call it SAGA with a asterisk to call it A prime, right? And that's pretty much what we call it. That's the center of the galaxy. It's not actually a location so much as the centroid of where all the stars are whirling around that black hole. So we don't know exactly where that point is because it's a black hole and therefore it's hard to see. But you can see all the stars interacting with it. And some of those stars are moving really fast. Like in real time, you can actually see those stars orbiting. So they're moving pretty fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the opposite, right? Because if we on Earth are here, then we would see the sun in Sagittarius. So what we want to know is when are we here where we would see the sun in Ophiuchus, right? It's not actually Taurus. It's there's no I. Right? That's the opposite. When that's happening, then we are in alignment with the black hole. But the truth of the matter really is, looking at these numbers, the movement across the galaxy is still markedly faster, right, than our orbit. So really the only place where we are in already traveled space is this section right here. From this point on, we're in new territory all the way around. So what we really want is something that's a right angle to Sagittarius A. So what we're going to look at is and your head still hurts. Is there any rule of when you do that? Like, when do you use ga versus ka? Or be versus he? Are you talking about like, when do you switch them? I'm not sure. That's all right. The sound is he that you just wrote. With two dots, it becomes B with a B sound. With a circle, it becomes P, continuing to write on here. So you've got he. This is B. This is P, right? Ooh, don't do that ever again. Right. So, see you later. See you later, Sarge. Beetlejuice is getting ready to go boom even as we speak. However, Brent, it's going boom galactically speaking any minute now, except that could be in the next 20 million years. Anytime in the next 20 million years, it's going to explode. Although that would be a holiday too, I would guess. So, hmm do you know what your gyos are? So your gyoyomi. So when you talk about like the letters and how they're broken down, you have your vowels on one side, mm, a, e, mm, mm, a, e, o, u, and then you have your kagyomi, and then you have it's ka, ra, uh, oh, I can't remember. But essentially, what you do is you assemble these together to come up with ka, right? You assemble these together to come up with ra, etc., etc., etc. So you keep going with ki, right, and that kind of stuff, and then ri, right, and then you keep going down here and you go ke, right, and you just keep going down the line until you have all of them assembled in sort of a little grid. The thing is that these are all known as secondaries. So ka is a ga if you put two dots. And we all know that anything with a K sound becomes the G sound with two dots. And then we don't have, there's no third gyomi to that. So it just becomes ka ga. And then ra, two dots becomes, there is no two dots. I don't think. I'm doing all this from memory. But anyway, keep going. And like when you get to the H gyomi, you have ha, right? Which we also say as wa, but only as a particle, right? And then when you what you have in the two dots gyomi is a B. And then what you have in the the circle gyomi is the P. Right? So if it's two dots, it becomes ba. And if it's got a circle, it becomes pa. See you later. There's a grid for this. And I can't remember what it's called. Hang on. It's always the same. Our gyomis are the hiragana alphabet's always the same. And they always put it in the same grid. Right? Where'd it go? Right, so it's like this. So it's always put in sort of like a grid, right? You can see how we're kind of in a grid here. And everything's in a grid. And it's all in a grid like this. And this is your agyomi. Let's make a smaller pen guy. This is your agyomi, your igyomi, u, e, o, right? And it reads exactly the same way. A, I, U, E, O, right? And then we have kagyomi, sagyomi, tagyomi, na, ha, ma, ya. I just totally wrote it in Japanese. Ra, and wa. And then we just know that, like, for example, ha has also ba and pa, right? And ma doesn't. Two gyomis that doesn't do anything. Two dots na doesn't do anything. But two dots ta becomes da, right? So two dots ta becomes da. Sa, two dots sa becomes za. So, like that. Two dots ka becomes ga. So that's G, right? Two dots ya doesn't exist that I'm aware of, I can think of off the top of my head. Two dots ra doesn't do anything. I'm feeling like I'm missing something. So those two dots are called 10-10, 10-10, and the circle is called a maru. So you'll say 10-10 wa. So ha no 10-10 wa ba. Ha no maru wa pa. Right? Ka no 10-10 wa ga. And then there's some weird stuff. We never use this wa for the radical, as in watashi wa. We always use ha because it's a strange, ancient, probably it's an artifact of earlier versions of Japanese. The same thing with o. We never use this o. We use wo. And it's really because you'll hear in the accent sometimes watashi wo, and you'll hear them say wo instead of watashi o. You know what I mean? And so that is kind of the reason we use wo as an o instead of o, which is kind of weird, but you know. So all you kind of need to know is that this gyomi here has both 10-10 and maru, right? Whereas this one also has 10-10, and this one has 10-10, and this one has 10-10. Yeah, yes. But you'll hear them say performing actions on objects. Like if you're, I mean, I guess you could still perform surgery on yourself. If somebody could perform surgery on you, at which time it becomes an o. Some user o. And then it just becomes funny. So when I was talking about Hepburn Japanese also wrote these literally. So instead of she, they put C, which doesn't make sense. So be careful of that translation, right? Yeah, because that puts this as T and two, which this is clearly chi, and this is clearly tsu, and there's a very different sound there. Does that make some sense? So that seems like a thing there. I think all of that makes. Oh, and like to go places, is actually he, but we pronounce it as when it's a. Not when it's a radical. I'm sorry. When it's a particle, they both have the same sound. Particle. When it's a particle, so it's a relational on that one. You are welcome. I'm still back to thinking this problem through here. Radical. Oh, we use, just making sure that you use e is actually he, but we don't pronounce the h when we're using it as a radical. Like uchi ikimasu. Uchi. You don't say uchi he ikimasu. Ikimasu, you know. Also, the other particles that are here is de and yo and ni, right? And ga, of course. I'm like looking around going, which ones are which? Probably a whole bunch more that I'm not thinking about at the time. You've got me working all in, no. You've got me working a lot of my brain here. Until I don't know if I'd call da one, but you get the idea. Hey. That's interesting. So A with 2 dots. I only know that those 2 dots as umlauts because that's the only time I ever, well, I mean, from the root of where English gets it, it's from German. So we have it in its German name for whatever reason. Umlaut. You have to say it like the way you say hey. That makes sense. Hey. All right. Still working on my galactic coordinate system. Okay, fine. I'm never going to find this easily. Might as well do this the hard way. We passive aggressively say no. Sure, I'll do that. Now I'm entertained. Okay. Right, we're almost at that galactic center piece because I'm going to mark select object. Why you're not fighting Sagittarius A'. There are a lot of stars very close to us. Oh, I see. A lot of effort, a lot more effort than I wanted it to. So this is exactly, wow, look at where we are. We're almost lined up with a 90-degree pull on Sagittarius A prime, which is perfect. Okay, knowing that that's the case, we want to follow the yellow ones along this line. That's to the north, so we don't want that. We want to follow this line. To 270. Who's that exactly 270 here? All right. What we could do is speed up the time here and just watch it go. We want to look to see when Earth hits there. And then I can see Mercury's movement. I'm not seeing our movement though. But we've moved forward into September. This is harder than it looks. I thought this would be really easy, like it'd be simple, but it's not. The dot keeps moving. I know, it's like chasing the dot. And where's George? Because George would chase this dot. I don't want to be at 270, do I? I really don't. We need to be at 0 to 9. Or do we? Oh man, I'm just losing my brain here. 0 and 90. Now, can we just rotate this? Would it rotate this so that we're not weird? No. That's Venus. That's Mercury. That makes this us. No, makes that Sagittarius. Okay, labels. Let's turn on our labels, guys. We're not seeing anything because we don't have any labels. Why are you doing this to yourself? Why do you do this? Why? Labels, planets. We don't need those labels. Thank you, though. There we go. That's what we're looking for. All right, 0 degrees, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. 0 degrees and 90. Now you know why your head hurts. All right, moving back here. Can I go backwards in time? Reverse time is J. Okay. Part of our problem is it's at the center on the Earth, and we aren't our center on the Sun. And follow selection. There we go. Now we should be able to do this. $17. Welcome back. I know. I do this to you just to keep you on your toes, Sarge. Just saying. All right. Sagittarius A prime now should probably be, and what we will do is just to show you what we're talking about here, I'm going to say center selection, and then I'm going to say follow selection, right? idea. Select Sol. If we look from the top of the Milky Way, so looking straight down on the bar, right? What I'm doing is this. Our star is selected here. So our sun is right here. As I move time forward, there's a definitive movement. There's a very slow movement. It's very slow. Thing I can do, this is very, very fast, right? Into the arm. Let me have fun here for a minute or two. This is fun. Fun for everybody but you guys. I'm just saying. So the question really is, looking from the top, we know we're moving toward. And I don't have to do this during the show. I can obviously do this some other time, but it's top of my brain right now. We're going this way. This is our movement zone. So here's galactic 0. We're moving towards 270, right? So there we go. That's where we're heading towards. That's straight in. So this would be 90 out. This way. This is galactic leading right here, which I can understand, galactic leading. You need more coffee. How about this, Brent? I'll give you an extra hour. I'll stay until about noonish, give or take, and we'll do a comic. Let's think of something for Springs while we're doing this, and I'll get you a Springs comic for the day. If you'll let me figure out this little holiday, because I thought this was a cool idea. I'll make see you in a bit. This is probably the easiest thing I could just do. June. Third. That's when we're trailing. So June 3rd is the answer to this question is, when is it? It's June 3rd. And the answer is, or the question is, what is the new territory day? right? So New Territory Day is June 3rd. I should have just done that to begin with. So the answer is trailing is June 3. So for Earth, June 3rd is trailing, or is the new holiday. And that answers our question, and all is good. And no, we're never over stuff like that. That's one of the reasons why. Well, let's clear everything except for that. And we will say we're going to call the holiday trailing. Is called something in wait. Why'd you say movement? That's weird. You have a word for this. It's called orbit. Like, right? Well, yes and no. So chapel, Nurse Chapel is very much being a flirt to some degree. So I'm not 100% sure what Chapel's story is on this one yet, but there was a time where, okay, so where does this all stem from? In the episode Amok Time, which is a Star Trek episode from the original series, Spock goes through Ponfar. Ponfar is the mating urge thing that Vulcans go through every 7 years. Nurse Chapel was trying to take Plomik's soup to him in the episode because she was trying to do something nice and she was worried about him and stuff. Over the years, people have evolved that to be that Nurse Chapel had feelings for Spock. Also in the episode Amok Time, Nurse Chapel, or also in Amok Time, we meet T'Pring for the first time. It's not T'Pol, but it's T'Pring, but that's all right. We meet T'Pring for the first time. And there is some fuzzy canon work going on here. Because Spock sort of implies that T'Pring and Spock were betrothed long before they traveled in the Enterprise. So there's kind of a fuzzy thing here. Because, of course, Strange New Worlds has sort of now established that Spock actually proposed to T'Pring, which is a different story. And honestly, I kind of like this retcon because first of all, I like the actress who's playing T'Pring. She's a riot, and she's pretty cool. And so I dig that. And it was kind of archaic, betrothed. Oh, Lemonite. There's theories that that's the same creature that we see in Requiem for Methuselah in the original series. The same species. That's the theory. But it's effectively it's a new race that we haven't seen before. Except that I think that it probably isn't really a new race, but that's all right. I think it probably is. Requiem for Methuselah. Good morning. I have come up with a holiday.
Is it Mariah Goes to Sleep?
Yep. Hey, Spoon Blaze. It's cool that my system can actually spell out Cyrillic, but I can't read it. Brent says hi.
Oh, hi, Brent.
She isn't the same species as Guinan. Guinan's Al-Iranian. So that's a different species. So,
all right. Coffee.
There's coffee downstairs. All right. Now that I have done this, I might go over a little today because I kind of got all caught up in this idea of a holiday called trailing, which is when the planet is at the farthest point back from a system, so that every day, essentially, from that day forward, you are in unexplored space. Because the star is moving through space, and the planet is orbiting while it's moving through space. So it's falling backward, but only really, I've discovered that our planets move a lot, or our stars move a whole lot faster through the galaxy than our planetary orbit, which means that there's only really one point where you're already in explored space technically, and that's when you're directly behind the star in its motion. Trailing. For us, that's we have our, I know. Right? Spoonblaze, feel free to talk and join if you want. You're speaking a language I don't speak. I speak quite a few words in a lot of languages, but unfortunately, not any of the Cyrillic languages. So I can't help you very much unless you can speak English or Japanese. I can even work with you if you've got Chinese or a little bit of Korean, but not a whole lot. I wouldn't really. I'm very good at Japanese, though. If you speak in English or Japanese, I can follow you. There's 790 languages on the planet. Did you know that? 790 main languages. There's a ton of languages that aren't main languages. So galactically speaking, just so you guys know, galactically speaking, New Year's is June 3rd. If you wanted to be absolutely balanced and not biased on any to any one country, because of course we've always done our New Year's as the darkest day, and that's actually the lightest day for like Australia, and so that's the longest day in Australia. So it's not fair necessarily to say New Year's is January 1. So technically speaking, the most non-biased way of saying a New Year's would have to be trailing, which is when the planet is the furthest point behind the moving star. So it orbits the star and the star moves. And so the star moves this way. Trailing would be when it's here at this point, right behind the star before it moves forward like that. So trailing is the New Year's effectively for a planet. And I'll actually put that in here so that I'll remember this. There. All right, done. I feel perfectly fine now. I feel like I have done this thing. This thing is happy. I'm happy about this. Yes, I think that also will happen. Which will allow us to bring back Mia Kirshner. Whom I really liked. But I think they'll end up bringing back Mia Kirshner for that, and that'll be cool.
Check with them what time the kiddo needs to get picked up.
No.
Okay.
I asked him if I asked if he needed me to go in with him, and he said no. I said, call me if you do, and then I kind of dilly-dallied around
for a minute or two, and I never heard from him. So I'm presuming everything is all right and nothing went wrong. I do know that he has his phone. Alrighty.
Okay, let me look.
Right? Summer camp is awesome. Just saying. Okay, we've done blue recently, yellow, green, orange, red, and brown. Which means we've done them all. So what starts this is green. We'll just go ahead and go with green then. How about green? Okay, how about green? Sounds good to me. And this is number 272. All right, let's get ourselves in here. Under the 4 panels, I'm going to add myself a layer. I'm going to make it white, just so that I know what I'm doing here. There we go. And then I'll add another layer in here. We'll bring in my blue line color. And let's start talking about this. Let's think about the comic that I want to do. I think I got an idea. I had it a couple of days ago. Now I've got to think about it. I've just got to pull it back. It was something. Crap, I lost this. And that's one of the reasons why I was stalling this morning, was because I'm trying to think of it. Trying to think about what that one was. Not 100% sure. There's a big communication thing going on right now. See you in a minute. Yeah, you don't need to worry about plurals. There are no plurals. If you need to indicate that there's more than one, we use an addendum called tachi. So if you say, like, I don't know, pen, but you want to indicate that you have specifically indicate that you have two pens for whatever reason, you'd say pen tachi so that you could indicate that. But it's very rare because usually you would just indicate it with the counter. So, like, I'd say, whatever, uh, ni, what is it? Ni, I guess it is. No, it's not nihon. Maybe it is nihon. Anyway, it'd be two pens. So they wouldn't say two pens. They just say two pen. So there's no need for, unless you have to specify, which is one of the things that's really hard for us Westerners with Western languages, the ones that come from, Germanic or from Slavic. Those languages are hard for us to comprehend. Um, hang on real quick. So anyway, I'm typing here. I'm sorry. There's a discussion going on right now. It's very critical. So anyway. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm composing something here. We have a problem in our family going on right now, and it's complicated. It's not. I mean, it's a bad thing, but it's not like somebody's dying or anything bad. It's just a one of our family members has been remarkably irresponsible and did something that has very big repercussions, and I don't think the guy knows what those repercussions are. And so now my sister and I have to follow through with those repercussions and figure out what to do. So sorry about that. It is kind of a thing, but it also makes it hard for me to think of something funny. I can't think of things that are funny because I'm kind of grumpy right now. So I'm trying to think of there. I had a joke and it was a really good joke and I thought it was funny and I can't remember it. And hey, Patsy, don't worry about it. We've got it's just it's a thing. When my dad passed away, he had some valuable items, and turns out that the step kid took and sold those valuable items so that he could get more drugs, really, is what it boiled down to after my dad passed away. And now the problem is those valuable items need to be traced and tracked, and it's becoming a problem. So, oh, it's all right. No hurry. Just do what you need to do, Patsy. Don't worry about it. It's all right. I'm in no hurry whatsoever. Anyway, the kids now coming clean and everything, and it's really sad, but we've got to figure out how to solve this problem, and things are ugly. So, yeah, it's got layers. It has a lot of layers. So, anyway, back to what I was doing here, because that's not a topic really to get into here. I'm trying to think of what I was doing. You know what? I'm going to draw for a minute on this illustration until I can think of what it was that I was what that joke was, because I can't think of that joke. So, So, anyway, I'll give a little bit of background on this. My character in the D&D game got a magic broom so she can fly, which is hysterical and funny and lots of fun all the way around. But in the game Saturday night, it got even better because the halfling, right? No, it's my D&D character. The halfling was riding behind her on the broom, and then somewhere along the line of the game, the player who's playing the halfling said, I lean to one side and draw my bow. And so I'm a tiefling, so I said, okay, well then I'm going to wrap my tail around you so that you're buckled in so you won't fall off. And then we were like, that is such an awesome idea. That's such an awesome image. And so I've decided I'm going to draw this image because it's so freaking cool. The idea of my tiefling, kind of riding this broom, and then the halfling leaning out to one side with the bow drawn, with my tiefling's tail wrapped around her. I thought that was really cool. So I've decided I'm going to draw that and see where it came from. And, just... Oh, no, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. Don't worry about that. And I understand completely. I probably really legitimately need to put this back further. Because this is the other hand. This is her trailing hand here. Leading hand here. Trailing hand there. We got a little bit of the stick behind it, and then probably the bristles will be more like this. And directly behind it. So... No, that's not going to work. Look at the mechanics of this. You're not going to be able to see much of the actual broom itself directly behind her because she's got to be sitting on it somewhere along the line, right? So it's coming back sort of this way which actually means it really should be out here if we want it to be anywhere. So it's going to have to be like this and not this way. Just keep going with this profile there. So just giving it kind of a crook because I think it's cool when you have crooked. You shouldn't have a thumb right here on this, right? So bring that around, and this arm will be directly behind like so. It comes in more like so. Just looking at the structure here, right? Then we'll have a foot like here, and another, because this is going to be her. There we go. I'm going to have another foot like right here. And then her hot pink dress, because my tiefling is ridiculous. I love my tiefling. Her name is Ivy. She's bizarre. Right. And she wears kind of a, here. Do this, with the horn like so. Right, we'll put her ears through here. Hair will be trailing out all over the place because tis the nature of hair. Right. We're doing this and this. Just roughing it in, right? So we're looking at like her shoulders, right? So these are her moving right along to the trapezes across the back of her neck. Let's put in the structure of the muscles, right? So across here, we'll put the armor plates in the front for her leather armor. Also probably would be like around the outside edges of her arms there. And honestly, she's leaning forward. She's grabbing on, so I actually think her hand would be more like so. This. Same here. She's leaning into the flight, right? So the way I do this generally is I get darker and darker and darker with each iteration, so I can kind of get a better idea of what I'm dealing with here. Put that there. This is when I don't use maquettes. And the reason that I use the maquettes is because I can skip all of this instantly. But today I am drawing this picture freehand because I just kind of want to, without using my maquettes. Mostly because I like the chaos of it, right? So she's leaning in. I'm gonna kind of put guides to tell me where that dress is, right? And so here's the halfling's bow, right? She's drawing it. So here's the drawing hand, which should be back like so. So we'll put some musculature in a minute there for that, right? I'm gonna come down here. Make sure that that's there. It's there. that's there. Kind of checking my anatomy on that. And then I'll add the chaos around it. Like she dust as long as she's on near the ground. We give you some idea of what I'm looking for in a composition. So, yep, I don't want to lose that skill. So now I'm going to do what I call an anatomy check. I'm going to check my anatomy on this. I'm going to put it on a different layer. I'm going to check to make sure that our skull moves backwards through the character to the hips and the shoulders are closer. I want to make sure that our shoulders are closer and our hips are here to here where our knee is. And that goes back to here where our foot is. This is to here where our knee is, and back to the foot. Right? So checking that anatomy, and here to this part, here to this part. Looks good, looks solid. If we take that out, that's what we're looking at, right? Okay, so that's pretty fine. But let's do the real check. Here's the way you really check something. We flip it. Why do you flip it? Because if it still looks okay this way, then we're okay. And it actually does. It still looks okay this way. I'm actually not opposed to it, right? I mean, it's not like it's horrible here. So the only thing I will do is make sure that my face on Ivy is correct here. And I think it is. So we look at Kithri's face, and that's this character here. And that one's straight too. Which works. All right. The only other thing is I'm looking at this, and I should have about the same size over here. Right, and that's not aligned because it should be here. There we go. That's what's not balanced. There we go. Like that. All right. Now we can take this guy and drop him down like so. And as I bring him down lower, this layer, now you can see better what's going on out here, right? And I can get much closer now. I don't usually like to work this close in the beginning rough because the beginning, if you do that, you get way too caught up in what's going on, right? So instead, we're here. Now I'm going to take my G pen, which should be aligned for this. So come back around here. Same thing. That. All right. No, it's up, down. But follow the path of the here. So looks good. Maybe I may not have it right. Hang on. My nose is here. All right. So let's talk a little bit about what's on this side, because I think I may have done this wrong. Yep, not enough eye. Which is why I did this on a separate layer, if you're wondering. Right, because one of the things I can do is eyes are always symmetrical, so I can always just take this guy, and once I figure out what I'm doing with him, who knows what I'm doing? Anybody know? No, I don't even know. That's where I want that eye. I can do this. Aha! Behold, the amazing flippy floppy. Yep. Well, that we're talking kind of about that too, and that's what we're kind of referencing here, right? Now that we have those sort of placed in as markers, I'm going to drop it down, get back up here. Put eyebrows like this. Oh yeah. Yeah. We'll go look at it at some point, Etsy, I promise. Okay. We just call him some user. Which is fine. The thing about tieflings is that they have black eyes. That's their shtick. There we go. I think that's really what I want to be, is right there. Right. Your name is awesome, dude. Get to go see a traditional animator and everything. That's so cool. I'm so jealous. Sweet. It's just all the way up to here. That's so cool. Bring her ears down like this. She's probably pierced her ears even. And I've never even thought about what kind of earrings she might be wearing. But that seems like a thing. That's the kind of earrings Ivy would wear. Little people earrings. They're little people. And this needs to go the other direction. So, well, it doesn't need to go the other direction. It just needs to go here. Like so. I have to admit, the eraser that goes with the eraser that goes with these kind of things is so nice. Wow. Like that was a lot of drop off. I don't know if you guys are still with me or not. I hope you guys are. Yeah, okay. So I'm bringing myself in on this because I'm looking between these two, and on the screen it's got Patsy saying she looks pretty cool, what type of halfling, but on my read back I've got all kinds of other things going on. Guy 2 mute. No, I'll do this. Do it this way. I'll turn the volume down. There we go. All right. That should help a little because no, I didn't. I just vanished for reasons. Anyway, okay. So the answer that to Patsy, I hate hearing my echo. I always like focus on my echo, and I never think about what I'm doing. The answer to Patsy is that she's the halfling is actually the D&D word for a hobbit, because the word hobbit is actually copyrighted for this. Dang it, there's no way to turn this off. You must at all times hear your own voice. Okay, I hate that. It will turn itself down to 10%, but no lower. So my voice is coming out of my phone. And I'm sitting there going, so what? You said what? What'd you say? And, like getting sidetracked. So yeah, halfling is the D&D term for a hobbit, because you're not allowed to use the word hobbit because it's copyrighted. So the halfling is a hobbit. So that's what that is. Back to work. And I was going to show you. It's all good. I don't expect any miracles here. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to have to do. That's a good idea. Headphones. That is a very good idea, some user. Headphones to the headphone jack. There we go. Now it's all mad. No. Okay, good. I can still hear myself through the headphones. That's amazing. These are very, very loud. Oh, that's probably because headphones has a different controller. There we go. That works. All right, now you can still see me if I, for some inexplicable reason, drop offline. But here is what Ivy looks like normally, for better or for worse. But I didn't put any earrings on her in this particular picture. So now I'm going to do Ivy here. I'm going to make her in a more anime-esque style, which will be fun. And then that'll work. So I will also, by the way, add the me thing. I don't know where I add this though, so that you can see me. So here. And that way I can do a little version of me down here, and I can go, hi, I'm still here. And then that way, if for some reason, because this is now on my cell phone, this one's on my cell phone, this one's not on my cell phone. So if I freeze up here, you'll still see me down here. So some of your streams are having connection issues coming from the phone. That doesn't spring. Oh, well, that's wise. And what is that? That's so strange too, because it is a Samsung phone. That's exactly right. And that's so strange that you have to get an app to turn all the way. That's so strange. Anyway, hi, Alvin. Welcome. All right, getting back to work. Nope. Back to work. Back to work for us. All right, so I'm going to continue to bring her horns around. But a tiefling is sort of, well, not sort of, they are demonic in some way or another, which has suddenly reared its ugly head in our story, because now we have met this character's father and mother, and it seems that the oh, it's an official app. Oh, gotcha. That's you. It what? It censored you? That's so weird. Why would it censor you on? I don't even know. I don't understand anymore. Yeah, it's because album was over on Discord, on the Discord server. Some user and Alvin, so that he could make that transition. They could make that transition. I guess you probably should say they. I don't know for a fact that Alvin's a he, and nor is that important or critical. All right. So one of the things I was looking at was this shoulder, right? So coming across the shoulder, kind of want this to be out like so. Give a wrinkle there and a wrinkle here. She has sort of a birthday cake where yeah, you can join the Discord server. I think I sent you the connection to it. What does her armor actually look like? I made this decision. So yeah, like nothing on her shoulder. So I'm adding now stuff, but I like the black collar with the brass connectors on it. There's a long discussion apparently at the last game about the chest size of Ivy. But she's got a bustier, and I knew she had a bustier. This is actually going to come up like so. Weird discussions when you have, like, it was like this discussion about the chest size of they were trying to fit Ivy clothes. She probably wouldn't fit easily. And the they, by the way, was my wife. So it's not like this was the men in her who was talking about this. It was my wife. She's the one that was trying to decide whether Ivy could fit in her character's clothes. So it was very funny. Ongoing discussions. And I was like, literally never thought I would be in this discussion topic right now. Well, thank you there, Can. Appreciate it. It's very funny. I think the best part was it was my wife, because we had sort of a Freaky Friday situation going on in the game, and the Freaky Friday situation meant that my character and my wife's character changed places, changed minds. So my wife was in control of Ivy, and I was in control of her character, the Golden Fox. And it was really freaking funny. It was a hysterical little side thing. It was because my wife's character had gotten a wine flask, a magical wine flask that has all of these random effects. So whatever you pour out of it, every time you pour a drink out of it, you roll on a random table. And so we rolled on the random table, and we ended up with the Freaky Friday drink. And so it's particularly funny because of that. And so in the middle of this super serious scene, my wife's character and my character swapped places. And now all of a sudden it was like, wait, what? Okay, so all the way through to the middle, then there's a linkage through the middle here, like so, which is going to be underneath, because you can see her body is turning around at this point, but she's leaning all the way forward. So I'm going to have to work on our arms too, because this isn't right. I can already tell. I'm going to go back for redrawing on the arms. I'm okay to about here. Like this. Maybe to about here. But we need to watch what's going on, because really what's happening is her arms aren't straight up. They're back because she's holding backwards. So really, what's wrong here is I'm giving the wrong signal with that. Probably not that. That was probably a little bit more dramatic than I needed it to be, but you know, it's okay. So it needs to be actually back, like so. Really, she needs to not have this at all, but you know, I'm liking the ruffles. It's funnier. And with Ivy, it's all about funnier. Well, thank you. And maybe I'll just, this is enough of a pain in the butt now. I'm starting to think that I'm just going to draw her like she is, which is her shoulders are bare. We've already established that she doesn't wear anything on her shoulders, so except for chains that kind of go with this, because they're completely chaotic while she's flying around. Maybe. Are they connected? No, they're not connected. Okay. Like that. Like, they're everywhere. You may have to do something else back there. make that work. But for right now, it's all right. All right, so we'll do that. I'm just going to kind of bring the hips around. So the bottom of the bustier is going to fly forward to these pieces of forward protective armor. She's wearing a leather bustier. So that bustier is going to go backwards, sort of like this, with the ribbing on it, and then lock to the back of her body. So it's going to come around like so. And then we're going to have all the connections that go to the armor plates on the other side. Right? So, looking at where her legs ended up on this is where it's important to know where that goes. I'm actually noticing that I'm going astray because this really should be more like that. And this really should be out more like so. I'll just keep this line and that line and this line. Because we want her tilted. And there are 4 pieces of leather that come down the front. Hey, Ray. This? No, I just sketched it this morning. I got up this morning and started sketching circles. So that's all. I don't know, random circle sketching. I don't know. I was sketching circles. There's no reference picture for this. It's really hard to find a reference picture of someone flying on a. Well, I guess I could have done like Harry Potter, I guess. Right. So the other thing I want to do here is moving. Oh, you mean this picture? Did I draw this one rendered? Or with a reference? I couldn't get her hand right, so I ended up having to use a maquette for this because the hand just wouldn't work. No matter which way I did it, it wouldn't work. Hi, Ray. So what I'm working on is my D&D character. So we were playing Dungeons and Dragons Saturday, and there was a scene where my character, this is my character here, she's a green tiefling. She was flying on her broom because I thought that it was funny to make the green-skinned tiefling be a witch. That's funnier. It just became funny. So she has a broom. Some adventure we went through, we got one magical item. And so she chose a broom. So she flies around on a broom and stuff like that. And so in this last adventure, though, we all ended up going through a portal and falling. And so she grabbed her broom and flew and grabbed the halfling and threw the halfling on the back. And then the halfling started drawing her bow to fire. And we all of a sudden had this moment where we were like, that's gotta be so cool. Because Ivy's like leaning in with the broom and the halfling is leaning out the side. And Ivy's wrapped her tail around the halfling so that the halfling won't fall off. And the halfling's firing the bow, and it was like, that's such a cool looking scene. And so I ended up trying to draw it, which is what we're doing now. We're drawing the scene because I'm like, that looks so cool. So oh yeah, this is my trying to learn from Wallop. Yeah, I love that face though. Ooh, that face. You have to love that face. And the fact that she sings songs about butts. Because she's Ivy. She's a weird character. She's a bard. And so everything she does, when she sings her songs, it's always not even remotely appropriate. So I had this, so I decided this morning I'm just going to do this.
Oh, are you drawing the picture?
Yeah, I am.
Yay! Oh, it's looking good so far.
Yeah. It's going to be pretty cool. So on the Freaky Friday game that I was talking about, my wife and I swapped places. This is why we were having entirely long discussions about Ivy's chest, which, by the way, was this person, not this person, which was particularly funny.
Imagine you are a human that does not have breasts, and then you
Suddenly have them. Yeah. Which is what happened. You also had a
Awkward.
tail.
And a tail. Yeah, that was awkward too.
You had a tail too. So it was particularly funny.
And
It was
I
a
gained
good
the ability
game.
to sleep, and you gained debilitating alcoholism. It's been a long time since I went by that name.
Yeah. So
Hello, Brent. Hello, Patsy.
we have to,
It's amazing how much better I feel after food.
right? I'm gonna eat food in a minute. I'm drawing now.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
actually
drawing.
kind of having fun.
And
drawing,
it's looking good.
So just realized she doesn't actually. I was putting cool little ruffles in this shirt she was wearing, and I was like, "Oh, that's right. She doesn't actually wear. She doesn't have anything on her shoulders.
She's not, okay.
But she's not dressed in
Are
this.
you
I know.
Okay.
But when the player who plays the character of the halfling and I were talking, we sort of agreed that we should draw them in their normal clothes, not
makes
in the
sense.
weird clothes that they were. Because in the scene that this took place in, I'm still wearing your character's clothes,
Right.
which looks silly in my head.
Yeah.
No, that name's right. I mean, oh, I see. Her real name.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I don't mind being Crow.
Yeah.
It's just been a while.
It's been a moon or two. Man, I can't get this. Oh yeah, that's what I want. There we go.
It's just like Justy's character you've ever played.
Yep, she is chestier than I have ever played with any character because it was funny and it fit the character. Trying to get this bustier at an angle is so hard. So,
All right. What am I doing?
I don't know. But I'm going to be clearing the stream in just a little bit, probably 20 minutes. And
Okay.
when I do, I'll come down and get lunch.
Okay. I just ate breakfast, but okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start.
There you go. That's what you need. You need to do laundry. Sometimes you just got to do laundry.
I got so many compliments on that dress last night, guy.
That was a cool dress, though. Here we go. All right. Dang it. Stop it. So when you grip things, you grip backwards. So her thumb is going to head backwards like that, just a little bit. And we're off completely on that hand, but that's not anything new. Is anybody surprised? No, nobody's surprised. Do you know why nobody's surprised? See you in a second, Patsy. Nobody's ever surprised because hands suck. Just saying. The good news is really all I need to do, because of the angle of this, all I really need to do is the first forefinger. The rest of the hand is kind of here somewhere, but it's not straight up. Like you can't easily see it. So Yeah, the first 2 fingers, you're probably right. I'll probably still get one more finger around that corner there. The Lego hand. It's just a Lego hand. Clack, 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 clack. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe you're right, Ray. I think you have a solid point there. However, in manga style, we don't actually want to draw all of it, so we're going to do that. This hand, then, is going to come in at a different angle than this, probably. So, because it's going to be underneath there, so like so. And she's going to go like so. Right? That's it, like so. The good thing is I love this eraser in Clip Studio where I can just hit the line I didn't like. You know? So I didn't like that line, so I'll just knock it out. Right? Do this. A little bit more svelte. She's not a huge character. In fact, strength is not strength, as we often say, strength was her dump stat. And that's the stat you dump so that you don't have to, so you can put more points into other things. For her, it's dexterity. She's a fast character. But she is not a strong character. Which is funny because she actually has constitution bonuses quite a bit. So, okay, here's what we're going to do. Bottom armor plates fall flat in front. So, one armor plate goes like this. One armor plate's going to go like this and go to the sides so that it's not stuck on the broom. Like this. And the other armor plate's going to come out like this and come up over her leg. Their leather armor, the plates are leather armor, so it's going to have to be, it's bendy. It can bend a little and give a little, but these are her armor plates. Give this a little bit more of a bend there too. All right, so out like this. Nope, stop. So next thing we want to do is put her dress in. Right. Her dress is being bent and pressed by the armor piece. So I'm going to do that and that like so. The reference photo? Yeah. That's actually, this is the painting I made to illustrate my character. So when I wanted to, but I spent like 15, 16 hours on this. I don't have 15 or 16 hours. So I'm not going to spend 15 or 16 hours on the other one. But this is the reference of her. She has cute little freckles. Because I think freckles are cute. You can't guess why.
Can you see them? I feel like I'm in the dark here.
You're probably in the dark here. My partner has freckles. That's why. That's it. So anyway, so there you go. So when we talk about these plates, though, there probably should be more plates going this way on the painting. Looking at the painting, I'm like, I didn't put enough of those plates in. Like I didn't. Okay, but that's all right. You know what? This is a different time, different era. Maybe she has more plates on now. Right? Freckles are just cool. You know who doesn't like freckles? People with freckles. It's so weird.
At least when they're children and people tease them about them.
Yep.
Because children are terrible.
Yep. So, okay, the other thing I want to do, though, is make sure that her skirt is coming all the way up. Because we're going to remember her hips are here. She's leaning forward. So we're going to have to put her dress out like this. And make sure it flies way up. Because from this angle, we're almost looking down on her effectively. I'm gonna put all these ruffles behind because she has a freaking birthday cake for her dress. And she's Ivy, and she's a weird, what do they say? Weird bird. She's a weird bird. Putting in all these ruffles is fun. I think ruffles are great. So part of this is I found this awesome tiefling miniature, but she's wearing like this really floofy dress. Yeah, I'll have to come back to those hands at some point. You're probably right. Probably should do this too to make them level out. No, we're going the wrong direction. This guy's fine. This guy's not. Nope. Armor plates in the front, which will probably put here like that to indicate that this is still an armor plate. And then we'll just do a little bit of it's leather, so it's going to be thick. So we want to make sure that it looks thick, at least at some point here. So that's what's going to end up happening there. Maybe. Okay, so the other thing is, something I hate are these converging tangents. Everything's running together right there. I'm gonna come back here, and I'm gonna move this out. So it's like that. And then that way, this tangent doesn't converge. A converging tangent is when two lines are together, and they really shouldn't be, and it makes it look like it's all one unit, and you lose your perspective for where things are. So we try not to draw that if we can. And I'll get back to those hands because I think red's right. It needs to be more like so. Maybe a little bit more. Certainly more here. I'll have to come back to it. Take some time. But now Ivy looks like she's pretty much complete. That would be really the time to save this. Okay, now let's look at the body structure of Kithri on this one, because I think actually looking at the original drawing, her head is just a little off kilter here. So I think I really kind of want to move her head to here. Right? And maybe tilt it just a bit. So now we'll come in here and come up onto this layer. Black on this. Let's get in close. I'm going to be doing Kithri's face. Let's talk first of all. I know I want that. Right? Because I love the idea that no matter what, she's got like her tongue out. Hit the target. You know what? I think this is a bad idea. Let's try something else. Leaving only the mouth. Let's go back here. And let's just break it down. There we go. That's probably better. All right. That's what it is. Ooh, I'm way off here. Don't lose your guides. Want to see what that looks like? It's completely crooked. It's all right. Not a problem. Barely an inconvenience. Because what I can do is this. Seen before. They're face on, so it's not that hard for me to do that. All right. Now, Kithri's face is tilted just a little bit out. So I am going to have to do something else to this particular thing. I'm going to have to distort it and bring it up and in just a little bit. And really, I messed myself up by doing this. I really should never have done that one, but that's all right. We'll work here. Okay. So I really shouldn't have put her mouth in until I was ready to do her mouth. And I'm not ready to do her mouth yet. Get the cheekbone. K3 is young in both character and in personality. So I'm going to give a lot of cheek. Like so. For her. A lot of wild hair because hair is so much fun. And like I said, she's a hobbit, effectively. She's not fuzzy. She specifically told me she's not furry. But she said she was a hobbit. Oh, that was lousy. Don't do it again. There we go. More like that. Okay. Her hair is going to be trailing behind her. So we're going to be wanting to do that. But we'll get back to that in a minute. Now, I have her drawing Mongolian style. For those of you that are not aware, Western style is where you take these two fingers and grab the bowstring and pull. Mongolian style is where you hook the string with your thumb, latch it with these two fingers, and pull. And I really think she's Western style. So she's going to be here. Now, let's also talk about the maneuvering of these muscles, right? The deltoid's going to pull, the bicep and tricep are going to pull up. So I'm going to want to put in the deltoid first, then the bicep, which is pulling up, right, to her elbow, and then all the way across for that. Nope. So that's way too dramatic, guy. I mean, we need to see that muscle group is pulling, but he doesn't need to be that dramatic. Oh my God. And then we'll come back through here and then fix this muscle group, right? Because really, it's going to be more like so. Because we're all, again, just like with Ivy, we're almost above her in this point. So I'm going to keep working this system until I get it down to a point that I'm happy with. All right. Welcome back. You were waiting for me to say it. You know you were waiting for me to say it. This is a recurve bow. So unlike the way I have perceived it or sketched it, it really should be like this. So then the bottom of this will actually be on top of Ivy's skirt. So we're going to do that, and cut that, and cut that, and just cut that. Because the bottom of that is pretty much getting really close to tickling Ivy in the side. I'm not sure if Ivy will stop laughing because she's ticklish. Be careful with that. And now I'm not happy with the pull here. That's okay. We'll get there. This part right here, that's going to be slow. No. Follow your guides. All right. Kithri, I believe, actually does wear armor, unlike Ivy, who's crazy. You? How you doing, George? How you doing, George? Good to see you. I have to come back and visit this guy too, but at least for right now. Dang it. You know what? There are straight line tools. You could use a straight line tool. Let's go from here out to here. So from here out to there. How you doing?
Oh, good.
That's good. I'm glad. You've been outside.
How? How can you tell?
Because the door thing, the front door is open. But also because
Do I
you're kind
smell
of
different?
no, you are kind of warm, like you've been sitting in the sun for a while.
Yeah. I am.
You, I'll need to put the fletching on that arrow. So the fletching is going to go this way. It's going to come up like this. Arrows have 3 sets of fletching, generally speaking. They've got what we call the cock feathers and then the hen feathers. You line your bow up on the cock feathers. And the 12-year-old in me couldn't stop giggling when that happened. When I started learning archery. I was probably 12 years old, so that, kind of. Now, her right hand, she's not at full draw yet. She's pulling back like this. So since she's in this middle of the draw, I've got her forefinger up to hold the arrow on the actual bow surface. So that's what you see, that hand, that finger is up. That finger is specifically holding the arrow upward. So it's locking the bow. Because of course she can't draw a full draw like this. She's not going to be able to pull back like this on a full draw. Ivy's in front of her. So she's going to have to pull the bow around and draw at the same time with her forearm bent. So as she comes around, then she can extend that forearm out, but not until she gets past Ivy. She has to get past Ivy's body. Speaking of Ivy's body, let's talk about the tiefling seatbelt that's going on here, because that's the part of this that's so funny, is this tiefling seatbelt that's going on. Where are you going? There we go. Right. Aw. There we go. Part of the coolness of this picture for me was the idea that Ivy wrapped her tail around Kithri to keep Kithri from falling off, so that Kithri could use both of her arms to fire the bow. I thought that was a fun part of this, so I was all about that part. Okay, so Guy, follow the anatomy, right? What's the anatomy here? This muscle is part of the front pectoral. The pectoral muscle goes all the way back into this group right here and ties in. So I'm going to put that in there, and then I'm going to pull the bicep out from underneath it. So, right? Maybe that's stupid. I'm going to pull the bicep out from underneath it like so. And that's the deltoid. That's the deltoid crossing into the pectoral. So here's her pectoral muscle on the front, going this way. Now I can clear some of this out up here, this, maybe even that. Right. So the pectoral's pulling back, and because she's going to be pulling from this big muscle is really big and powerful. So she's going to be pulling back from that, along with her triceps in the back are going to be pulling in too. So we've got that kind of muscle group working together. I know. Very useful being an artist. I can sense that the swamp cooler just turned on. That's good. There we go. Now if we look without the mess behind it, we can kind of get an idea of where this picture is going at this point, right? It's going to need some work. We're going to have to work on pieces of it, but it looks cool so far, and it's moving along really well. So I'm actually pretty happy with this so far. We're going to have to go back and clean up all kinds of crap, but that's all right. It's getting there. And for a picture that has no underdrawing, I mean, it has no, I didn't use any maquettes for it. Kind of amazed that I got the anatomy right. I'm just saying. But now it's afternoon, and I really want to go get food because I'm hungry. So I'm going to put her to put this to rest. I'll save it real quick. Save. And maybe we'll work on this a little later on too. It's probably got a little bit longer to go for it, just to get everything lined up. So there you go. We're just gonna have to go back over it one more time. Like, I agree with Ray on this one. Ray's right, and I'm gonna have to go through and do something with the kitty tummy. I'm gonna have to do something with those hands. And I think it's actually the architecture of the hands going into the actual holding of the broom. So we'll have to work on that one. But that's okay. So, all right, guys, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. I'll be on tonight, and we may or may not continue this one. I have no earthly idea, but we'll find out, won't we? Either way, until then, keep your eyes on the stars. Goodbye.